Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli, back with another review video, and of course, continuing on with the, reviewing Halloweenish films. Now we're finally up to this, and I'm finally reviewing these. And don't get me wrong, because these were going to be reviewed eventually, and perfect time to review these for Halloween. As you may know, because the first review for today, Halloween Town, I said that, I mentioned that change of plans for the Hotel Transylvania films. Now I'm just reviewing three. The fourth one, as we all know, it got pushed back, so that sucked. And it happened right as October hit, and when I had it scheduled and planned, you know what I'm saying? But, never mind. But I did have to make some changes, as you know. Halloween Town 2 was reviewed, and hey, it makes sense because this year marks its anniversary. But with Halloween Town 2, Calabar's Revenge out of the way, now we come to the Hotel Transylvania films, obviously with the first one. And as you know, the next ones will be the second and third. So for the first one, well, this is where it all began. And I'm telling you, because Hotel Transylvania, it's great. The first one, of course. Because, we have, a bit of a backstory, and, Dracula built the hotel, so him and his daughter would be saved, and I guess, all of the other monsters as well, like Adam Sandler as Dracula, Selena Gomez as Mavis, David Spade as Griffin, the Invisible Man, Kevin James as Frankenstein, and Steve Buscemi as Wayne, the Wolf, and Wayne's wife, Wanda, voiced by Molly Shannon. Now, she's good in this. And Sadie Sandler, Adam Sandler's daughter, actually voices young Mavis and voices Winnie. So Winnie, one of the wolf pups, and the daughter of Wayne and Wanda. And Fran Drescher, if I'm saying her last name right, she voices Frank's wife, and the human, who's in this, Jonathan, or Johnny for short, I guess, voiced by Adam Sandberg. Yep, so he stumbles upon the hotel, and, because even John Lovitz, if I'm saying his last name right, voices Quasimodo, and his pet rat, who is this close to, who, the rat does sniff Johnny, who's in disguise throughout the film, in makeup and as a Frankenstein. The rat suspects that, Jonathan is a human, and Quasimodo, not really kind of the bad guy, I would assume, but I don't know, just, because, in the film, because, monsters still terrified of humans, and John Lovitz, if I'm saying his last name right, I think so, yeah, people would know him best for, because he's a funny guy, and I also remember him, of course, as the voice of the radio in the first Brave Little Toaster film, so there you go. So he's done quite a bit of voice work before, and it would have been great if he did reprise the role of the radio in the other two Brave Little Toaster films. But after all, the radio is a radio, so a voice, bit of a change, that kind of stuff. But oh well. Anyways, and Chris Parnell voices the Fly, because we'll get into that in a little bit of the Fly. He pops up here and there, he kind of spits out his hands, and, but it has some funny moments in it, the first one, definitely, and, touching moments here and there. One, for example, Mavis, is finally going outside and, going to the village, and, these villagers come out and trying to scare off Mavis with garlic and fire, pitchforks, but it turns out it's zombies. It's the zombies disguised as the villagers, because, well, Dracula planned all of this, just to keep his daughter safe, and, Jonathan and Mavis, they zinged, that's a thing for monsters, fall in love and such, and of course, some scenes with Dracula and Jonathan, Jonathan making things fun, and, that one monster where eats, Jonathan's bike, I didn't do that, and playing, charades, and we see the Invisible Man doing charades, and what would he do it? He's the Invisible Man! You can't see what he's doing! All you can see is his glasses moving. It's hilarious. the steam room, because like a dragon causes the steam room, you know, because of smoke and everything else. At one point, because Jonathan realizes, because they come across in this room, they're in this room, and like a portrait of Dracula and his wife, Martha. Yeah, Martha, the wife of Dracula, and Martha being voiced by Jackie Sandler, Adam Sandler's wife. So that's really cool. Makes a lot of sense, don't you think? And like the backstory and like Jonathan talking about the legend he's heard, and you know, Dracula tells him that the legend is wrong, you know, and Martha was, I guess, you know, murdered and killed by, you know, the villagers, you know, and you know, Dracula and Mavis, of course, they survived, and you know, pretty emotional, don't you think? But you know, Dracula sharing his pain to Jonathan, and everything seems to be okay with them, and they start actually having some fun, like fly around on tables, and that's when Quasimodo snatches Jonathan, because that's when, you know, he realizes that Jonathan is a human, and Dracula and the Knights of Armor, they go after and stop Quasimodo, and even Dracula like freezes Quasimodo, and what was Quasimodo's assistant's name? It should be, I should remember. I cannot remember. Oh God, I wish I could, because it should be so easy. It's easy to say, and it should be easy to remember, but I can't. But like, I guess his cooking assistant like comes in, and like, because the way that Quasimodo was frozen, like had his finger pointing, you know, human, and like his assistant like kind of puts in his nose, like he's picking his nose. And that's when the party happens, you know, and one point, Mavis goes in for, you know, kissing Jonathan. One of the knights points that out to Dracula, like, oh, thanks for telling on them, you know? And Dracula goes, how could you, after I shared my pain with you? And, you know, Mavis says, you know, I'm like 100 years old, or 118 years old. I think that's the age. And, Dracula like says, no, you're not allowed to kiss, and blah 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 blah, you know, and because the village doesn't exist, you know. And you know, that's when you know, he tells the truth about the village and so on. That's when Quasimodo comes in, and you know, the Fly, because he can speak Frozen, says that, you know, Dracula has brought in a human, you know, and Jonathan's the human, and you know, even Griffin asks, you know, why is he picking his nose? And he says it's a long story, as the Fly says. And, you know, because that's when the rat, you know, wipes off some of Jonathan's makeup, you know, and, you know, he says, beholds a human. And they all go into a panic, and Mavis doesn't even care. He still wants to be with him. She still wants to be with him. And you know, Jonathan looks over at Dracula with a sad face or whatever, and, you know, Jonathan just, you know, pretends to, you know, say, you know, because, well, I'm sorry, but I can't, because I hate monsters, you know, I can't be, you know, because you're a monster and I hate monsters. Goodbye. And, you know, Mavis just flies away quickly after Mavis says to Dracula, this is all your fault, and, you know, all the monsters, they leave, and, you know, Dracula actually finds a book or something that Mavis had, and it's a message from Martha, you know, enjoy your adventure, or whatever, you know, I guess to Mavis, you know, and Dracula, and this was kind of quick, and boy, the monsters, I guess they forgave Dracula pretty quick when Dracula explained that he doesn't know what humans are like today, and yeah, because they were cooped up in that forest and the hotel for many years, you know, and so, like, Dracula, Frank, Wayne, oh, I forgot to mention Murray, yeah, because Murray the Mummy, in the first one, voiced by CeeLo Green. So Murray and Griffin, they go after Jonathan to get him back, and I think at one point one of them sits on these tiny bugs that are probably ants, I don't know, and like, we should have honeymooned at your mom's house, that was funny. And so they go after looking for Jonathan, and they find a shirt, and you know, Wayne calls in his pups, and Winnie is the one who smells the shirt, and you know, gives all the information of where he went, etc. And then they go. And there's one part. There's one part where sheep are on the road, and Wayne's like, "I got this one." He eats all the sheep. You see the look on their faces. We don't see what happens, but it's hilarious. And what? Now there's no sheep on the road. Let's go. That was pretty sick, man. As Murray says, you eat lamb chops. It's the same thing. We don't have time for this, And they make their way to, like, I guess the town and such, and it's a monster festival happens, and they see everybody, like, dressed up as Dracula, Mummy, Frankenstein, and Wolf, and, they like us, as Frankenstein says, and they have to try and find a way to scare them, and by, putting fire to his face, but they just applaud, and they know it's them, and just... it's funny. And the voice of Triumph, the insult comic dog, does the voice of a cosplaying Dracula, and blah, blah, blah. I don't say blah, blah, blah. It's funny. And so Dracula makes his way to the airport with the help of those Dracula cosplayers with their capes and, because of the sun. And he, he doesn't care anymore. He's got to get Jonathan back and just gets into the sunlight and catches the airplane. He gets Jonathan's attention. They can't hear each other through the window. Like, how's it go again? My what is in a tan shoe? Something like that. But, and so he like hypnotizes, like, or whatever, like controls the captain, And it's, yeah, kind of funny, but also very touching to what Dracula says to Jonathan, And even says that, tells the passengers that, to make a turn, and they're kind of like, be quiet, I'm burning up out here. So Jonathan comes back and, tells Mavis that he pretended to say that he hated monsters because he thought that Dracula would suck his blood. And he said Dracula would have, but, And all ends well, and they fight. Of course, they do officially kiss, and all ends well, a party going on, like the finale and everything else. The first Hotel Transylvania film, it's fantastic. Yeah, and that is, and until, like the next two films, which are good too. I give the first Hotel Transylvania film 10 out of 10, because I love the first one, and probably I'm pretty sure that I'm going to give the other two 10 out of 10. Well, wait until they come, so, So stay tuned for this Thursday for my reviews of Hotel Transylvania 2 and 3. So again, 10 out of 10 for the first one. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you thought of my review, what you think of this film. Leave comments, give it a like, etc. And I'll see you guys in the next video/review. And you know what's up next. My review of the second film. Take care and peace out.